What do a small Hampshire-based fisheries consultancy, Malaysia's first astronaut, and Britain's penchant for drinking Spanish wine have in common? They all have their origins in big international arms deals. To clinch a sale, defence companies have lured Omani fish, marketed Spanish wine in Britain, and paid for Malaysia's space program. These often secret side perks are already big business, but they're set to become a $500 billion industry, shifting jobs and technology from west to east. One of them involves an Omani fisheries project backed by BAE. It's headed by Charlie Kilgour of McAllister Elliott, based here in Hampshire. Charlie, so you sell fighter jets?
No.
So what do you do?
I'm a marine biologist. I work for a fisheries consultancy company. We develop fisheries management and fish administration for governments all around the world. In Oman, we have a long history working with the Ministry of Fisheries out there. A recent project, we were putting fish aggregation devices, which are basically just anchored buoys in the sea, which attract fish, and the small inshore fishermen can use those to access tuna. So this promotes sustainable fishery methods and also try and improve the livelihoods of the Omanis.
Projects like these have never been more important to defence companies' bottom line in the cutthroat business of selling arms from Saudi Arabia to South Korea.
It is increasingly the deciding factor in defence trade. If a company doesn't do offsets, they don't do business. It's that simple.
For the first time, the FT has calculated the size of these obligations. The US and Europe's top 12 defence companies have committed themselves to offsets totalling $75 billion.
So the growth in offset, of course, has been in parallel with the growth of defence expenditure, particularly in the new markets of the world.
Offsets are big and growing fast, especially in Saudi, the UAE and India, which are the world's largest markets. There's not much data available because the whole business is shrouded in secrecy. Countries see the deals as intrinsic to their national security. Companies believe they are a critical competitive business advantage, and sometimes corrupt politicians see them as a way to make friends and a quick buck.
It's often surprised me that investors don't take a greater interest in this. Now, I think that's partly because offset is almost the hidden side of defence, and this is a huge area. We see obligations, the conservative estimate, $100 billion over the next decade. The actual figure could be far, far greater than that.
It's unlikely that countries will ever feel compelled to give away much information, but companies may soon find themselves doing just that.
Offsets is at a turning point because of its sheer size and magnitude and its growth right now. There's going to have to be a great deal of transparency. There's going to have to be a greater deal of openness on both the part of the buyer and the seller. They're just going to have to do it. And it's going to happen either through self-regulation or ultimately it will come down to imposed regulation.
Investors won't be the only ones well served by the extra transparency. That's because countries are not just demanding that defence companies lure fish. They also want the jobs and technical know-how that come with building the equipment they buy. So, the next time you walk past a deserted British naval shipyard, you can bet that the jobs and skills have moved to countries that are buying the military equipment Britain can no longer afford. And facilitating it all may have been a small group of Hampshire-based marine biologists. Carola Hoyos, Financial Times.